Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spock Connection with the Weekly Comic Book Roundup. We've covered most of this week's Marvel books. Now it's time to finish up this week's Marvel books, as well as cover yet another DC book. Kicking things off, we've got Iron Cat #1. Now, way back in the initial Black Cat arc run, with where she was stealing various items for Black Fox. One of the things that occurred was she made an Iron Man suit. I say an Iron Man suit, but basically a Stark Tech suit of armor. It was very no frills, built for speed and little else. But it did its job, and Cat got what she needed. The armor, Stark kept the armor. So, we begin. Felicia is on a heist, going after a specific diamond, the Gavriloff diamond. The issue goes back and forth between the present and the past. Last time she tried to steal the Gavriloff diamond, when she was still being taught by Black Fox. Though she wasn't the only one. She was another student of Black Fox's was there, a young woman named Tamara Blake. But in Pesci Misto and the Republic of Carnelia, 12 years previously, Black Cat stole the diamond, and, well, the cops came after her. In the present, she makes her way into the vault. In the past, the cops continue to chase, with another group of cops being called in and basically who are rivals with the initial group of cops chasing after Felicia, with Black Fox explaining to Tamara that Carnelia was a satellite state of the USSR that, of course, ended when the USSR fell, and they became an independent democratic nation. As part of the reform, the new Carnelian government established a national police service, which were responsible for law and order, and, as he puts it, other such dreary pursuits. And he adds that Pesci Misto, the nation's capital, has had its own police service since the nation's founding in the 1920s. The Capitol Police and the National Police are in a particularly precarious state as their jurisdiction overlap in Pesci Misto, and they hate each other. So basically, two rival police forces get called in to basically, distract each other. But while Felicia's on her heist in the present, her phone rings. It's Tony Stark. Mad as hell, because apparently accusing her of having taken the Iron Cat armor. And while on the phone with Stark, Felicia's attacked by the Iron Cat. But in the past, Felicia manages to evade law enforcement and make it on the boat. In the present, she leads the Iron Cat on a merry chase throughout Manhattan, lamenting the fact that, whereas she would have initially known exactly what the armor was capable of, since Stark's been since Stark has tinkered with it, well, now, not so much. Um, but the Iron Cat is revealed to be Tamara Blake. Wanting revenge on Felicia for killing Black Fox. But Felicia realizes in that moment she's not going to be able to talk Tamara down, so she beats her with some flashbang grenades, and goes to see Tony Stark. Initially, Tony turns her away, not interested in talking to her at all. They have nothing in common. He even turns on the sprinklers to get her to leave. But Felicia explains that her ex-girlfriend is trying to kill her with super science. And, well, Tony figures out they do have something in common. Adding that having an ex-girlfriend trying to kill him with super science is something that's happened to him many times. So many times. And that is where the issue ends. It's nice having another Black Cat book at the moment. I do wish that either of her previous ongoings would have continued on, but alas, such is not the way. There's still some plot threads I feel were never properly tied up from previous runs, so hopefully, at the very least, hopefully we can get another mini-series to kind of, to wrap up some of those other plot threads, but we'll see. Moving on to our next book, we've got Venom Protector number 3. Where we left off, a representative from the Life Foundation has approached Eddie with an offer to remove his vulnerability to Sonics. And Venom's been dealing with a handful of criminals who seem rather intent on killing him. So Venom is signing up for agrees to sign up with the Life Foundation, and he's injected with the what will remove his vulnerability to Sonics. It's explained that the Life Foundation intended to use supervillain Claw to verify the success of the serum. But, however, Claw is in a specialized containment cell at the vault, so they built their own, which they refer to as Mechanic Claw. It attacks, and Venom does what he can to evade the attacks because it's just instinct. When he makes a construct of a cage around Venom with a hard sound construct, Venom braces himself for the pain and busts through the sonic bars, but Venom didn't feel a thing. And then he smashes Mechanic Claw. Back in Manhattan, Eddie decides to, or ends up near where his ex-wife Annie's new fiance works, and follows him. And goes down a dark alley. Turns out he's selling patient information to a drug dealer. This enrages Venom, and Venom basically tells him leave town, never come back, or he'll do some horrible things to him. Death Shield, meanwhile, is looking for new partners to go after, the various superheroes in New York. But something's wrong. there's side effects of his of what's happened to the symbiote. He's reacting to various sounds. He takes on the form of Obnoxious the Clown and later a pirate from a movie poster before returning to the Life Foundation to demand something that be undone. And he gives it. The doctor is given a taste of what he's having to deal with. The process is undone, and then apparently Venom attacks and brutalizes the scientist. Apparently, a trio of security guards rush in. The first reacts with projectile vomiting, the second tenders for resignation the next morning, the third will never speak a word for the rest of his life. While Venom is lamenting things, is reflecting on things on one of the... it's not the Brooklyn... I'm guessing it's the George Washington Bridge, perhaps? He is attacked by the mercenary Chance. And so the two have a brief fight, which, side note, Chance has existed for a good 30 plus years at this point. This is actually the first story I've ever actually got to read with him. He appeared in I want to say Nick Spencer's Amazing Spider-Man run recently, but I didn't read that run, so yeah. But as I recall, Chance first popped up in shortly before Venom did. But it turns out that Chance is seeking a bounty, is going after a bounty on Venom. And he doesn't charge for his services, he wagers on them. But Venom hears what Chance says as he escapes about how no bounty is worth his life, and starts to wonder, who put a bounty on him? And that is where the issue ends. Enjoying the series. I think I've mentioned this already, but with the Lethal Protector book, but it's kind of neat to read Venom written the way he gained popularity. Is kind of the playing, kind of feeling as though he was wronged and by SpiderMan, and yeah. But seeing himself still as being a good guy, even though he was trying to, kill Spider-Man. But anyway, moving on to our next book, we've got Spider-Man 2099, Exodus number 3. Where we left off, Spider-Man had recruited the potential help of the people of New Asgard, but that still wasn't going to be but it was potential, not definitive, so it looks like he may have to find additional allies in it to take on Norman Osborn and his cabal. So we open while talking with Layla about what's been going on. Spidey is his interface with Layla is hacked by Moon Knight. Apparently, there was a group of Avengers that formed in 2099. I'm assuming this was from a specific story, which I sadly did not read. I wish I had, because, it's a 2099 story. But the Masters of Evil took down this team of Avengers, which included Kid Cable, their temporal liaison. But this Masters of Evil line consisted of the Patriot, Baron Zemo, the Enchantress, Radioactive Man, and the Black Knight. And they took down the Avengers like child's play. However, Moon Knight didn't actually die. But With the exception of Osborn, the rest of the Masters of Evil left Earth, went to plunder the stars. But the celestial corpse crashing into Earth awakens Moon Knight, and so Moon Knight works on assembling a new team of Avengers. The Masters figure that Osborn is trying to pull a fast one on them, and are mainly going back to Earth for their cut. But Spider-Man is recruited into the Avengers, so as is the Hulk, John Eisenhart, Rowena Stern, our new Captain Marvel, Jay Lee, Arrow. Interesting that, or I could be mistaken, Mackenzie Salgado, or Wave. Each one we explained what the Masters have done. The Masters made Hulk into a doomsday machine. Captain Marvel, the Masters cut down her fathers. Arrow, the Masters poisoned his students. Wave, the Masters starved her city. We got Roberta Mendez, Captain America, the Masters stole her free will. T'Challa, Black Panther, the Masters soiled his ancestral home. And Moon Knight joins all of them and states that the time has come to enlighten Earth's would-be tyrants, that when you kill the old Avengers, you create new Avengers. They arrive at the at the Celestial's corpse about the same time as the Masters, and there's a little bit of posturing with Enchantress explaining that that the Avengers don't even know what it is they're dealing with. Melter explains that he's missed killing Avengers. It's also added that Black Knight was killed. But they managed to take down the Avengers managed to take down the Masters, while Osborn watches while Spider-Man basically pulls off Zemo's face. But the Masters are defeated. It's revealed that Moon Knight is now Moon Knight is Khonshu, thanks to the Masters, and the Masters are imprisoned on planet Wakanda. And it appears that additional recruits have been added to the team, including a Captain Britain, looks like Kid Gladiator, as well as a She-Hulk, and there are some others I don't necessarily recognize offhand. But Spidey's back in Nueva York, having to figure out what he's going to do about Osborn. And the help that he needs, he can only find in Latveria. And that is where the issue ends. I'm digging this. I really am. And as much as I would wish that this would serve as a pilot series, a series of pilots for new 2099 books, I don't think that's going to be the case. But one can hope. These 2099 Avengers, I definitely hope to see again at some point. And moving on to our next book, we've got The Variants, #1, a Jessica Jones mystery. Jessica Jones, wife of Jessica Jones Cage, former teenage superheroine, victim of the Purple Man, wife of now New York Mayor Luke Cage. So Jess is looking back on lead up to her wedding. She went to a boutique, wanting to, be endless and beautiful wife for Luke Cage, just for one day. Trying on various colors, but after reminiscing about all this, she has a migraine, which apparently she's been getting migraines often lately. She blacks out, and Daredevil catches her. Explains there's a woman named Maria that Jess was did have some involvement with, and has been requested that Jess be at her upcoming hearing. It's a competency hearing. She gets home, wakes up in bed later, having dreamt of Purple Man. Next morning, she goes in for coffee. Turns out the owner of the coffee shop is being shaken down by Hammerhead. So Jess messes up his knee and deals with his henchman, and then goes to the courthouse. Turns out that Maria burned her house down with her family inside under the maybe not so much control, but or influence of sorts of Purple Man. Afterwards, Matt Murdock informs Jessica that the Purple Man that Maria wants to talk to Jess, and Maria explains that basically everything that Purple Man did to Jessica, he perfected on Maria first. But she further explains that Kilgrave laid a trap in her brain. 10 years after he took her, she heard his voice again. And Maria tries to give further warning, but Jess isn't hearing it, and is actually rather angry at Daredevil. Heads home, but when she gets there, she knows someone's there. And sounds from her daughter's room. She attacks the woman inside, and it's her. And they're both hit with a shield that's talking about Captain America. Jessica Jones, Captain America. And that is where the issue ends. An interesting start. Very interesting start, to say the least. I'm definitely curious to see where this series goes. But anyway, moving on to our next book, we've got Punisher War Journal, Blitz. Tying in with the current Punisher series being written by Jason Aaron. The Hand has made Frank Castle an offer he can't refuse. He is their High Slayer, and they resurrected his wife. And from the last issue, it looked like they were about to resurrect his children as well. So this issue has the Hand going after Hate Monger. Various locations: Ohio, LA, New York, and Minnesota. In Minnesota, they get they eventually get some decent intel and further take down more of Hate Monger's organization. A phone call is made by a survivor of the assault in Minnesota to the Hate Monger, which is of course traced. Turns out that Frank and the Hate Monger doubled each other about 10 years previously in the Blitz forest. Hate Monger did what he did best, basically started a war there. But the call was made as traced to Alaska. There's a red line around the compound, and as soon as they step over it, the point where they can't move, and then the prisoners that Hate Monger has were then summarily executed in front of Punisher. We get more Punisher dealing with the Misc forest situation. During the Hand's assault on the Alaska encampment, gas is used, and Punisher barely survives. Punisher manages to avoid the gas. Back in the past, it turns out that Hate Monger knew he was face to face with the Punisher, but Punisher didn't realize he was face to face with Hate Monger, and he basically burned a farmhouse full of people. The gas attack incapacitates most of the ninjas. Frank barely manages to avoid being affected by the gas. Tracks down goes after Hate Monger, who puts some cyanide tablets into a glass of whiskey, about to drink it, but Frank spills the whiskey and then feeds Hate Monger to polar bears he's got. And that is where the issue ends. Very interesting. One of the points made is that apparently the Hate Monger is being armed by the Apostles of War. So, but that'll do it for our Marvel books. But now we got one more book for the moment for this video. We've got Deathstroke Inc. number 10, kicking off the Deathstroke Year 1 story. So this basically just kind of goes into Deathstroke's origin. Deathstroke is basically a super soldier a la Captain America. He volunteered for a process that would make him better. However, at first, while it does have some immediate results, those results have side effects. He's got a decent amount of strength and durability, but temporarily. Eventually, he recovers enough that he's sent home to his wife, Adeline, and their son, Grant. Adeline has an acquaintance who's willing to offer Slade a security job, which he begrudgingly takes and hates every minute of it. Tries to take Grant hunting, but not really Grant's thing. But at night he would go out, just make trouble, start fights, and just to get into a fight. Fights he always win. One night, one of these fights is stopped by the police. Slade's arrested, and Adeline basically tells him that he needs to choose. Is he going to be a father to his son, or to be honest, he's always looking for some sort of war to fight? While taking Grant, he's taking Grant to a playground. Someone who was involved in the process that made Deathstroke. Well, Deathstroke approaches him. One of the scientists is looking to testify before Congress about everything, which would make Slade and his abilities a matter of public record, which would also make things a little rough on him and his family. If the scientist ceased to be, or was unable to testify, his hero would be safe. And so, Slade accepts his first contract as a mercenary, and stating that he had to choose a path, father or mercenary. And when the moment came for him to do so, the choice was simple. Given how Deathstroke is widely known as a mercenary, well, it's kind of easy to guess which path he chose. That is where the issue ends. Interesting choice to hop into a year one story for Slade at this point, with his involvement in Dark Crisis. Likely that has his involvement in Dark Crisis has something to do with going into this now. But speaking of that, now that's going to do it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off, saying live long and rock hard.